Welcome, folks. We are live on Rumble, Twitter, Twitch. Well, Twitter we're working on. It's not working right now, but we will have that fixed next month. Rumble, Twitter, Twitch, Telegram, YouTube, and I believe we have one more. Anyways, that being
Facebook.
said, Facebook. That's right. Sorry, folks. Yeah, I'm on it right now. Anyways, we are. This is episode 42 of Campaign for America, and today we are going to be talking about BallCare in regards to the Genesis campaign and what it is and what it does and how it helps and how it makes healthcare affordable for everybody across the board. But I will let Dennis tell you about that because he knows more about that than I, and that's his baby. So, with that being said, let me read our disclaimer and we will begin. The views expressed on this show are expressly the views of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views, beliefs, or opinions of News First World, its hosts, broadcasters, or affiliates. Remember, folks, always use your own discernment when viewing. We encourage our viewers to think for themselves. Welcome, everyone. We are here, and I'm going to play our intro, and then you can do some housekeeping.
Sounds good.
There we go.
In 1980, Ronald Reagan wore a white suit, a red tie, and a white shirt and addressed the nation. Hi, I am Dennis Andrew Ball, and I am running for President of the United States. I am talking to you right now because the debates that were conducted this week need to have a presidential response. The economic issues that both Barack Obama and Mitt Romney answered created in the minds of many of us unanswered questions of how do you sustain economic growth in the United States of America. In light of the decisions and the events that have happened since 2008, what do we need to do to reduce the deficit, increase job creation, maintain Social Security and Medicare, and provide the opportunity for our children and future generations not only to survive, but to thrive in a global economy. I would like to talk to you quickly on how I perceive what needs to happen. The United States of America at this time is suffering because the means of production have not equaled the ends of production that it requires in order to sustain its middle class. The United States of America must reindustrialize itself to make it possible that 23 million Americans can go back to work in industries that are productive for themselves and their families. What we are witnessing on a daily basis is the demise of the American family, the traditional American family of children, parents, and grandparents, by people in authority who have used, abused, and misused their positions to hurt our people. This must stop, and it will under my administration. The need at this moment of time is to get our organs of power in business to invest in research and development to make it possible for industry to not only survive in America, but also to thrive. My attitude is that the production capability of the United States is equal to none. Our workers are very productive if given the opportunity, but they must be protected by government that concerns themselves with their best interests. And that has been a problem for many years in this country. My attitude also is that in order for our people to get themselves in a position to care for themselves and their children, we have to evaluate at this moment in time what is important for that to happen. And I believe that it will be more of a decision on the part of the American people when they go to the voting booth to decide who they think is best qualified to do that job. I believe also that we are in a position to make decisions that will impact the course of history and to bring about positive change in the lives of our family structure. I want to say that in order to do that, the means of production will have to be a top priority to reindustrialize the middle class and to provide the support for the future generations. I want to say this, that in terms of how we go about this business, the President of the United States should be very aware of what has happened and what needs to happen. My interest at this time is to educate through my administration of candidacy for presidency to make it possible for you to learn more about me and to decide if you are better off since the election of Barack Obama and the changes that need to happen in terms of the increase in gas prices, in food prices, the mortgage forfeitures that have happened since him, and also what we will do in the future to make it possible for more people to be employed out of 23 million who are not. Consider this opportunity to communicate to your friends and your neighbors my thoughts, and I look forward to hearing from you. I need presidential electors who will vote for me through the Electoral College when I win the states in this country to become your next president. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
All righty. With that being said, I will let you do some housekeeping, Dennis.
Well, thank you, Stephen. Okay. First thing on my mind right now is what's going on with Donald Trump. I follow events pretty closely right now with respect to what's going on in our society as it relates to the Trump candidacy with regard to the Republican Party. These trials in New York that are ongoing, a civil trial he has, and all the conflicts that are going on in the society, particularly as it relates to Kevin McCarthy and what happened on Friday regarding the budget.
I
It
actually
required,
he got voted out as of like a few minutes ago. Last I heard, so he's been voted out.
okay, so that doesn't surprise me. And so we have conflicts, and this is a product of a lack of understanding and knowledge in our society. I'm a baby boomer. The baby boomers are ignorant of so many important things that they should be fighting for, which is a living wage job, industry staying in America, providing devaluation of our currency so that you could buy more with less. All the things that are necessary to sustain America the way it was intended. And to get into the nitty gritty of, are we a corporation or are we a republic? And that's an important question that still hangs out there. If we're a corporation, then we're being run like a corporation, and good people are being harmed because of it. If we're a republic, we should have laws, and laws are in a republic that protect people who do a good job and who get punished for it. So this is a culture problem that exists in society. I have written about most of this and continue to. Right now I have 62 titles on Amazon.com. I'm going to introduce some of this today. I have 8 more books coming. On the 18th, we have a meeting here in Ocala, Florida for our AOA membership. The last one we had was just during that COVID period on October. It was actually today, October 3rd, 2020, at the Ocala Central Library. And it was a very, very good event. I wish to have a similar event on the 18th. Also, with regard to this campaign, I'm very busy right now with aviation companies, including museums, and there are several here in Florida. We didn't get very far with some of the other airport people and executive jet people, corporate jet people. They do have hangars, but it's kind of bizarre the way they conduct their business. So as a result, we're doing alternative type events to draw the media in, which is what we want to do. We have the new graphics. I didn't see, other than the one you have posted at the beginning and toward the middle of the intro, but we have graphics that can go into billboards.
Yes,
And
I
so
have to
we're looking
add those new ones still, but I will be.
Okay. We want to get these up. The billboards and the local donors who will contribute for the billboards, that's going to make a huge difference in terms of public awareness of what's going on here. I have worked very hard. I have amassed a great body of work. As a matter of fact, today I went through my books, and I've got some here that I'm going to introduce again to the public. And I wish everyone would really think about what I'm talking about, what I'm saying, and how I'm saying it. Right now, I'm selling about a book a day, believe it or not. I'm really surprised in spite of the economy, but I'm getting participation in Europe as well as other continents, Australia, Canada, and the United States, the Western nations. And I think that, this is something that I need to focus on with regard to what am I selling? What is the opportunity here for people to become candidates, to run for office, to make a difference for the policies and procedures that need to happen to bring back stability in our society for family's sake. As I've said before, if you're not fighting for your family, who are you working for? And I think it's very important that that question be answered by all of us. So today's show, and I think probably for a while, Stephen, we may not have guests come on because I have a lot of material that is very good. And each show, possibly to episode 50, will be an opportunity for people to call in and ask questions about what it is I'm selling to the public for their benefit and their children. And so I think that's an important notice and announcement today. And as the campaign continues on, I know not every week, from week to week, when I attempt to plan things, they seem to change in midstream. So we need to move it in a different direction when that happens. Also, tomorrow night is a Powerball drawing. It is over $1 billion. I won $7 last night. It's too bad there weren't 3 other numbers there. I would have won the billion. And that would have made a major difference in everything that we are doing. And it would make a big difference in the lives of others who I believe and know could use my support. And that would be awesome. So tomorrow night is the Powerball. I recommend everybody get at least one ticket and participate in that, because that's a lot of money. And right now, that's what we need to get our message out there and get people rallied to get on the ballot for 2024 and to motivate people to become candidates to change the system from within for family's sake. And my books talk about this. My books communicate what has happened, why it happened, and how to fix it. Today's program is designed on the subject of healthcare, called BallCare, healthcare that people can support. This is a topic that's very timely and important to a lot of people, especially the baby boomers who are advancing in age. BallCare is designed, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor, and the doctor is in control, not the accountants or the insurance adjusters. And for that, I will say, and I can see, Stephen, you're putting it up there on the screen. That's very good. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit today as well. And as I talk about that, I want to say that I have other topics as well that we want to introduce in the coming days as it relates to, my massive amount of work, and particularly as it relates to the current campaign. I have a book called One Nation, and if you can bring that up, I don't know if you can see it, Stephen. I've got this book here, and I'm looking at it, and I wanted to show it to the folks. This is One Nation, and this is an important book because this is a comparison of where we were in the 60s and where we are today. And it talks about the campaign as drawing and attracting and unifying our nation as one. And that's what it's called. The times we live are controlled by those who game the system. In America's culture, we are divided by class, race, culture, youth, and economics. Families are in turmoil, and their survival is diminished when it becomes a low priority by society until harm comes to some. That is the challenge we face, making America one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, not just some, but all, to survive and thrive. This, the 2024 presidential election. And I have also on the back of the title, this his 37th title by 2024 American Party presidential candidate Dennis Andrew Ball, Making History, Showing the World a New Plan and Path to Prosperity by Adopting Policies from the Ball Doctrine, Creating Peace and Prosperity in Every Nation, at Amazon.com. And that is important. This also goes with One Nation. This is my autobiography. If I am to become the president of the United States, people need to know who I am. I just sent out yesterday 2 packages, one to California, one to Pennsylvania, of interested parties in this campaign. I sent out bumper stickers. I sent out signs. I sent out buttons. I sent out flyers. And I sent out books. I sent out the books you're looking at right now. This is my autobiography, The Champ, Winning in the Ring of Life. It tells my life story. It's very important that people read this so they know who they're talking to. And that's why I wrote it. Every presidential candidate that's worth their salt is not hiding from the truth like others we know, or create fictitious biographies that we know are false. And I'm not going to name names, but I know of some right now, and that's a problem. This is a true story, and it honors my parents. It also provides an opportunity for people to ask questions. I hope you will find it interesting. It says Dennis Andrew Ball is making history at a time of great social and political upheaval. His wisdom and knowledge spans the globe, creating the model for all the nations. His autobiography came as a result of years of exploring into the mysteries of people and their lives. Now he is showing the world who he is by the content of his character. The time is now here for all time, for generations to get it right, for our children and generations to come. From childhood to adulthood, he tells his story to show the brilliance of his life and the people who shaped it. I highly suggest anybody truly interested in this campaign get a copy of this. You can go to Amazon.com, and there you will have a chance to read the details of my life and how I got to where I am.
Very good, very good. And I highly recommend you guys check out his bookstore. He's got a lot of content there, and it's an easy read. It's not like really thick. It's for your everyday average layman's person that can easily understand what he's talking about here.
Exactly. And upcoming in the weeks to come, Stephen, I want to introduce this book possibly next week, called Ballonomics: Lifting America and the World Out of Poverty from the Bottom Up. This is what President Kennedy talked about: skilled labor, education. And in order for a nation to be free, it must be free economically. It must be able to sustain itself labor-wise. These strikes in the UAW, as well as what was UPS, those type of strikes are indicative of a bigger problem. And that has to do with skilled labor jobs that create a living wage. And that's where we're at right now as a society, because our country has been emptied of so many jobs that were created for the purpose of sustaining our society and motivating it. There's nothing better than having a job that will pay you your worth. And this is what this book is about, not only in America, but around the world, the principles about creating industry in America and beyond. So I will be forwarding this also to you to post for next week's show. Ballonomics.
Very good.
Then after that is the fair deal. This talks about the economics of our current situation with the Federal Reserve, the currency manipulations, the large debt load that has been allowed to grow, the reason we had a debt crisis over the weekend, and from what I can determine based on what you're saying, that Speaker McCarthy has now been dethroned.
Yes.
You know, these issues are not going to go away. Dennis Andrew Ball is the founder and chairman of the American Party of America, sponsored by the American National Committee. Both the AOA and the ANC derive themselves from the extensive research Mr. Ball has done into the politics of America and impact produced within the traditional heterosexual nuclear family, believing America's best days are ahead of her. A graduate from the University of California, San Diego, 1973, Dennis Andrew Ball continues to shine the light since the Kennedy administration and his untimely death, how to restore America back to her rightful place as the leader of the free world. Follow Dennis Andrew Ball on Facebook and Twitter, which is now X, as he weaves his way into the national media by his wisdom and thoughts, rolling to the White House in 2024. We are coming into the mainstream and incrementally, and programs like this are helping us get there. By having donations and a donor list of people to support the campaign, we will even make it bigger. There is no reason why this campaign should not only flourish, but provide a lot of support for a lot of people who are poor as well as those who are rich, to get it right for the family's sake and to make America strong again. And I have a book for that called Keeping America Strong Again, Restoring the American Family, Making it Important Again. I didn't put that book with this, but going through books today, I had so many of them. I found that book in the pile I have. And that's really an important book because it goes hand in glove with restoring the American dream from keeping America strong again. And this will be the third book that I showcase for upcoming shows. Then I am going to New York on the 25th of October. And this is the Ball Doctrine. Dennis Andrew Ball is making history by his wit and wisdom that defies logic. He is a man on the move, believes the world is ready for a different path. The Ball Doctrine, creating peace and prosperity in every nation. He is a scholar and author at Amazon.com. A graduate from the University of California, San Diego, 1973, Dennis Andrew Ball continues to shine the light since the Kennedy administration, how to restore America and world back to their rightful place in history, particularly that of the United Nations, taking its lead from the Ball Doctrine. Follow Dennis Andrew Ball on Facebook and X as he weaves his way into the national media by his wisdom and his thoughts, rolling to the White House in 2024. Now, I have several copies of this book that I am taking with me to New York, and I will be distributing these to the important people there in New York at the United Nations, including the media. So stay tuned as we continue down this path, incrementally making our way into the mainstream and into the White House. We've got to get on the ballot in all 50 states. We've got to showcase the party as the party of the people, the people's choice. And programs like this will help us get there, Stephen. And so I congratulate you in your efforts to change history and make it better for our children and generations to come.
Well, somebody's got to do something, right? I mean, we intend to expose corruption wherever it lies.
Precisely. And hold on. I wanted to do this too. On this book, again, Ballonomics, I want you to know that Dennis Andrew Ball is the founder and chairman of the American Party of America, sponsored by the American National Committee. Both the AOA and ANC derive themselves from the extensive research Mr. Ball has done into the politics of America and the impact produced on the traditional heterosexual nuclear family. And then it goes into my background and talks about the Kennedy administration, about his untimely death, and the effort here to restore America back to her rightful place as the leader of the free world. Are we the leader of the free world right now?
It doesn't look like it to me.
Doesn't look like it to me either. I appreciate what you said. Okay, so now I've got to show you this book. This is United Nations Agenda 21, The Big Lie. This book is my best-selling book. So far this month, I'm selling a book a day. That is awesome based on the economics that we are facing right now. The fact that people are recognizing there is a problem. I have nailed it, and I am providing a way for them to understand it and prepare themselves for it. Author in 2020 American Party presidential candidate Dennis Andrew Ball is a graduate from the University of California, San Diego, Bachelor of Arts degree, 1973, History, Science, and Technology. Now, Dennis guides us to understand what has happened to our nation and world and what we can expect for our children if United Nations Agenda 21 is allowed to continue to march into our lives to create a ruling class, one world government. We, the people, must not allow this to happen. If the intentions of those who thought creating the UN was honorable to avert war, then it has entered into the no-spin zone of tribal warfare. Global governance is not possible by virtue of the multitude of attitudes that control families in divergent societies. Since the formation of the United Nations in 1947, the history of the planet continues to show that nation states rebel against central control by people for their property rights. This is a major flaw, robbing self-rule and sovereignty by socialism. I am a capitalist. Your money and your property belongs to you, nobody else. If people are hell-bent to grab it, steal it, use it against your will, they are criminals and thieves, cons and liars. And by God, that's what we're dealing with today.
Especially
And
in the
this,
guardianship courts and the family courts too. Look at just what they're doing to people.
exactly. On the title of this book, I put open borders, eminent domain, global compact migration, depopulation like Bill Gates wants to do, kill off 90% of the world population, sustainable development, also the Green New Deal. All of these are counterproductive to a healthy environment where society can survive and thrive. I'm pro-life. I believe in life, not a culture of death. I believe we have many people who do not belong here on this planet because they have caused so much harm, so many conflicts to so many good people. And for that, they must be dealt with very strongly. And so I recommend Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, Camp Delta, get ready. They're coming in groves. FEMA barges, get ready. You're going to get filled up, and tribunals and punishment is coming. Praise God.
The people want justice, and we deserve justice because of what's been done. There's been bad court actors, bad officials that have done so much damage to all us everyday people. How can we allow them to get away with what they're doing with no culpability? I don't want just financial, what do you call it, sanctions. I want criminal freaking accountability for these bastards and what they've done.
Exactly. Nothing less. Nothing less. Nothing less. And that's where we are as a society. And I'm really pleased that I could introduce my work in this way today, because BallCare is the subject of today's topic. And it talks about the healthcare system and how it's out of control and what needs to change. And I want to read the titles on this because this is important. The chapter headings: the healthcare crisis is title 1, chapter 1, chapter 2. Answer is a solution. Chapter 3, the magic pill. Chapter 4, healthcare that works. Chapter 5, the promised land. Chapter 6, don't be fooled. Chapter 7, keep your doctor. Chapter 8, simplify. Chapter 9, count the cost. Chapter 10, make a difference. And chapter 11 is the appendix. Now, the basis upon what BallCare is about is if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Now, that came out of Barack Obama's Obamacare. Well, BallCare has spun it correctly and has made it clear that because money is the driver of healthcare, actually greed is the driver. The pharmaceuticals, the surgeons, the pandemics, all of these contrived
Don't you mean pandemics?
maladies. Right. I've written another book called COVID-19, the New Third Reich. I didn't put that in there. Oh, there's so many books I could put up, but I can't do everything in one show.
No, I know, right? I was just making a pun about, because like you know how like we all know what it was. It was planned, obviously.
Yes,
Look
it
what they're trying
was.
to do now again, and ain't nobody buying it.
Exactly. So in terms of the BallCare program, if you like your doctor, yes, you can keep your doctor, and your doctor's in control. If you're 70, 80, 90 years old, maybe even 100 for that matter, if the doctor thinks you need a procedure, the government is the payer, not the decider of who gets care and who doesn't, based on the analytics of age discrepancy and life expectancy. These are the things that BallCare takes into consideration for the benefit of we the people. Tell me, what is wrong with that? Nothing. So
Nothing.
the sooner,
Nothing's wrong
I
with
think,
it. We need to be looking out for ourselves and our communities. Why are we sending so much money overseas for these other causes when we can't even take care of our own house?
precisely, we have veterans on the street. I witnessed today a video of a man in St. Louis, Missouri, who took out a gun and killed a homeless man sitting on the curb. This is an outrage. This guy who did this is creating such a maligned society with how homeless people can be destroyed. So, the guy takes out a gun and shoots the guy, and then he does get arrested. But someone like him is a total failure, as far as I'm concerned,
Well,
that he would
look at
shoot
what
a
they
homeless man.
did. A lot of people don't even take this into account, but a lot of people lost the roof over their head during these lockdowns. Within then inflation going up, nobody can afford anything anymore, folks. And I think we need to stop we need to take our freaking heads out of our asses and wake the fuck up and see what's going on here. Period. Because we're being lied to by all sides. I don't trust either side of the political spectrum at this point, simply because we've all been lied to and there's been so much infiltration and so much deception by both sides. I don't think we can afford to. Are you there, Dennis? Uh-oh, he froze up on us. Dennis, are you there? Dennis, can you hear us? You froze up on us, buddy. Give it a second. Sorry about that, folks. We had him freeze up on us. I don't know what's going on. That's odd. Very weird. Huh. Dennis, can you hear us? All right, folks. Well, I will I'm gonna just put some of these up on the screen share until he gets back. But we will have him with us shortly. It sounds like oh, that's weird. That was really weird, folks. I don't know what's going on. I find it odd that the minute I start talking some truth and how things really are, he gets cut off the air. What the heck? Let me see what's going on, folks. Bear with us. And in the oh, here he is, right here. Hey, what happened?
My phone got really
Well, folks, I just heard from Dennis. It looks like his phone all of a sudden started overheating and shut itself down, which is odd. It should not have done that unless he's in a really hot area. I mean, I've had that happen here in Vegas, but I don't think he's in that hot of an area, and it's not really summertime anymore, so that's weird. He will be back with us shortly, folks. So just bear with me. Anyways, I will just kind of go on a bit about what I think's going on and what I see just from my coverage of many different issues. I'll tell you what I see, folks. I see guardianship court corruption. I see family court corruption. I see school board corruption. I see medical fraud. I see CV-19 corruption, with the medical fraud. I see medical fraud. I see it occurring across the board. I see judicial corruption, and all the evidence I've seen leads me to one conclusion. And I'm going to tell you, everybody, right now, I am an independent one. So I'm about what we could prove. I'm very rational, reasonable, and I think very logically. If it holds water, it holds water. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I like to back up my what I'm putting out with facts. And we've been all duped, folks. We've all been duped by both sides. That's what's going on here. We've all been kept divided, kept focused on the distractions rather than the actual issues and solutions therein to those issues. It's crazy because I just seen some weird connections with my coverage on the school boards, on the school board issue in recent days, as well as, and there's a connection between that and what I'm covering in the Hillegas case, oddly enough. So yeah, it's pretty scary what we're seeing here and what I'm seeing. But I ask everybody, just take a step back. Don't react emotionally. We can't afford to be reactionary right now because of our emotions. We have to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. What's really going on here? Because a lot of stuff is not adding up. A lot of stuff is not adding up. And I don't think we can afford to trust the mainstream anymore. I don't think we can afford to trust our elected officials anymore. I don't even think we can afford to trust the bar anymore at this point. And that's honest to God's truth where I sit on that issue. And we have Dennis back. Here he is. So I just want to make that clear to everybody. I represent the people, and I represent truth, and I represent defending the elderly and defending the children. That's where I stand. And of course, free speech and all that good stuff. All right, we have you back. You just got to connect your audio now. All right. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I apologize, people. This was an interruption that I have never encountered before. Technically speaking, this was a technical flaw. But we're back up, and I think I've corrected it for the moment anyway, till the remainder of the program. We were talking about BallCare, this book, and that's so important because, like I said, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. The doctor's in control. If you need a procedure and he orders it, the government is the payer. And how is this going to get paid for? Well, guess what? In my book, The Fair Deal, which I talk about canceling out the national debt and providing accountability in the government, I talk about the monies that are collected will go to pay for health care. The government can run on a fair tax. The government can run on tariffs. The government can shrink. The government is too big. The government needs to get a fiscal inventory. And the government needs to get smart. If the American people are put and held accountable for everything they do, why should not their government be equally so?
Damn right. Damn right.
When does accountability return to the United States of America government? With the 3 city-states of Washington, D.C., London, England, the Bank of Settlements in London, and the Vatican Bank, as well as the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, and the World Bank, all connected to the New York Central Bank of the Federal Reserve System out of Washington, D.C., a city-state. Why should they not be held accountable when their banking families are handsomely being rewarded every day from the people, not only America, but around the world? Oh, they're not going to like me because they have caused so much harm to so many good people and destroyed so many lives.
I already know they don't like me. With as many interferences attempts as I get and sabotage by people that are claiming to be fighting for the same thing. It's funny, man. I mean, they must be really scared. They if we're getting attacked like that. I mean, just look at that. Your phone overheating for no reason. Is it even hot where you are right now?
It's about 85 degrees.
Okay, there you go. There should be no reason why his phone should overheat in the heat that the temperature he's in. I've only ever had that happen in Vegas heat myself when it's summertime, and sometimes it will do that. But if it's not that hot out, there's no reason it should be overheating. And it's funny that when I was going off on a rant about not trusting either side, that it would do it right at that moment. I thought that was a bit odd.
I don't know. I can't tell you. It's never happened before. And all the programs we've done, this is the 42nd episode. I've never had my phone overheat.
Yeah, that's just weird that it would do that right in the middle of the broadcast.
Exactly. And I've taken the charger off so that whatever the problem is, but it'll go away and it may not even come back again. It just might have been a fluke or just, something that happened because maybe somebody's pushing some buttons somewhere. I don't know. But
we don't know. But I have seen that. I have heard of that happening to other people before, and I do know from my own as a software engineer and what I know in the IT field that can be done or made to happen if somebody is remoting in or in the back door of your phone through the by hacking in. That I know that they can do that.
Well, it is something to deal with here with this programming, but that's what we have to deal with. And so now I've got it hooked up again. So it looks like we're good on the time and probably good on the time. So do we have any callers today?
We do not have any callers as of yet. I have it open, but no callers yet.
Okay. Well, BallCare is important. And I said this with respect to the chapter titles. And the basis of it is that we want the people to be able to go to their doctor, not have to deal with co-pays, have their drugs, their pharmaceuticals paid for, reduce the cost of pharmaceuticals. I'm dealing with my phone stuff here right now. Hold on. Okay.
What's going on with it?
You know what? I'm just gonna take it off, and when we get done here, I'll mess with it. Okay. So, but anyway, the situation is that no copays, no costs for pharmaceuticals. If you need surgery, no 80/20 stuff for Medicare. We're talking a totally different system based on the doctor being in control and the government is the payer. That's real health care. And I have Medicaid. Medicaid pays for everything, which for me is awesome. My mother had Medicare. She was not eligible for Medicaid. I am, because I'm disabled. Medicare requires a 20% copay. And in order to get the 20%, you have to buy a supplement to pay that. Otherwise, you're stuck with a large bill, even at 20%. Guess what? My mother had 40 hospitalizations prior to her death in 2006. She went through 2 million in Medicare, 40 hospitalizations, 2 million in Medicare. If you break that down, I think it's $50,000 every time she went to the hospital. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of green.
Yeah.
And she also had to have a 20% to cover the supplement, which was about $150 a month to pay for that, which was good money. I will say that. And it was good money to have her bills covered. I gave her $1 million of my time. I do it again, praise God. But the realities are, the healthcare system in America is deplorable, and it must change.
It's a joke.
And
It's a
BallCare
real
will
joke.
do that. It is. I know of people right now in this party who are suffering financially because Obamacare doesn't do it. Medicare doesn't do it. Some people had Medicaid and then had to get off it because they're married. Their financial situation changes. When that changes, then their coverages change.
They're no longer
And some
eligible.
people don't even have any insurance. BallCare covers everyone. BallCare is a savior. As I said, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. The government is the payer. And that's the way it needs to go. And in terms of paying for it, we can do that. And we can eliminate the national debt, provide the support for the people, and make it accountable so that we can survive and thrive. You should not be in your twilight years being a poor person because every Tom, Dick, and Harry picked your pocket. That's a fact. I'm telling it right. I'm telling it right, Stephen. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not happy, and I'm doing something about it. And I need you people to help us. If you want change that's going to work for you, you're going to have to fight for it. You're going to have to jump into politics and get busy, get educated, win elections, and change the system from within. Burn down the country, you're still going to be stuck with the same issues. It's not going to go away unless you want to be in someone else's authority and chains telling you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. I wish not. As well as all we need to do is look at those crosses out there of those service people, our military who have taught and died for our freedom. We honor them by doing the right things.
I just
for
got
us.
a weird call from somebody in the Arizona area code. I don't know anybody in Arizona. That's odd.
Well, I do.
Who?
Well, there are different ones out there who are following us.
I bet they are. What are they afraid of? I wonder. What are they
What
really afraid of?
happened?
I don't know.
Are they on
Somebody tried to
the,
call.
are they on the line?
No, they were on my personal phone.
Oh, I don't know them.
I don't know
I
either.
just
It's
know
probably
them.
a spam call, but oh, here it goes again. Well, they're gonna have to wait because we're on a live, so maybe I'll answer after the live. I don't take calls during live broadcast.
I hope not. We've got too much to do.
Right. I thought it was odd because now that's the fourth time they've just called back to back trying to call through. What the heck's going on? Somebody's
Could
nervous.
be.
I think somebody's nervous.
Well, it could be one of the scammers.
It could be.
I
Could
get a
be.
lot of the scam likely on
Yeah.
my messaging. Scam likely.
Yeah, this one didn't say that though, which is odd.
Oh, really? Okay.
Not sure what's going on there.
Okay.
I guess we'll find out a little bit later.
All right. Well, all right, Stephen. I think we pretty much covered it for today.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't have a lot more to add to this, other than, next week's show, Ballonomics. We can talk about lifting America and the world out of poverty from the bottom up.
Right. I mean,
You
what
know,
else
and-
can we do at this point?
Right. And like I said, the number one book that's selling like hotcakes is this Agenda 21, The Big Lie. Dennis guides us to understand what has happened to our nation and world and what we can expect for our children if United Nations Agenda 21 is allowed to continue to march into our lives to create a ruling class one world government. We, the people, must not allow this to happen. If the intentions of those who thought creating the UN was honorable to avert war, then it has entered into the no spin zone of tribal warfare. Global governance is not possible by virtue of the multitude of attitudes that control families in divergent societies. Since the formation of the United Nations in 1947, the history of the planet continues to show that nation states rebel against centralized control by people for their property rights. This is a major flaw, robbing self-rule and sovereignty by socialism. Socialism, as I've said before, these people who have money, the billionaire and millionaire class, take note. You need to support candidates who will fight for you, because if the state comes in and nationalizes your business, you're done. Your money and your property is worthless because you don't own it anymore. And you allowed this to happen on your watch. Look at the oligarchs in Russia. Putin is taking their money and property. The sanctions are also taking their money and property. They got it coming both ways. And in many respects, they allowed it. Of course, many of them got rich on the front end by supporting Putin, but now they're getting hammered on the back end because of Putin and the sanctions from the West.
Just look at what's going on in our own country with the civil courts and how they're robbing the people blind in the guardianship and probate courts, and then the family courts, they're taking people's kids and sending them into the arms of the abusers in many cases, unlawfully and unjustly and with no good cause. And they're case fixing. I mean, I've seen this repeat time and time again with so many cases. I mean, I can't emphasize enough, people. We're on the verge of a dangerous precipice if we don't freaking roll it back now.
Well, that's it. That's why we're here. I'm angry. I want change that works for the people.
I am beyond angry. I am enraged and I'm furious, and they have woken a sleeping dragon in me, and I'm not ever going to stop speaking the truth and calling shit out, because enough is enough.
It is. I've written a book about that. Fighting Radical Chaos in America and Beyond is the subtitle. We're in trouble because this boomer generation of misfits and malcontents have allowed our society to fall into a quagmire of quicksand, economically, professionally, personally, and of course, legally. And as a result, they have put America on tilt and put all of us in jeopardy of losing our rights. This must stop, and it will, under my administration. Praise God.
Here. I second that. Praise God. Let us play our outro, and we will see you guys next week, folks. Don't forget to miss it. We're going to have, don't miss it. Sorry. Don't miss it, because you're going to want to know more about BallCare. and what's going on behind that and how it works. Because I'm gonna have, I think we should go into a little bit more explanation on it next week. Yeah. How it works?
Certainly.
All right. Cool. Awesome. Awesome. I think people would like to get a rundown on that. I think that would be very helpful.
Right.
Right.
Have them call in and ask questions.
Yes, absolutely. All right.
Get a copy of the book. Amazon.com.